So while others join. So welcome everyone to our conversation. My name is Dr. Harry Benjamin, and grateful and thankful for the opportunity to be a part of helping people around the world to really realize that inner peace and joy is something that has no relationship with our life circumstances and situations that we find ourselves in. We've been having a conversation now for a number of weeks. So today that conversation continues, and you're invited to come and listen. You're invited to come and participate as well. It is a discussion. It's not a strict information that we share and for people to just pick up and go with. We literally have dialogue and interacting with each other and having a conversation that helps us to remove blockades and obstructions to us realizing that our peace and our joy are not related to what's happening around us. And in that way, we're able to be much more effective. We can overcome our challenges faster, and we do not pull ourselves down with the circumstances that we may not like or circumstances that come our way that are difficult for us to handle. And these teachings have become very good for those who are in our business community, because this particular last week has been one of those periods where individuals had to dig deeper to be able to continue to move ahead. And some people are still trying to gather themselves, right? When we get like news that's like hit you, shock you, and when that happens, it's sometimes it can shock you so hard that it pulls you so far down that you sometimes don't get back up. To be able to continue moving in the direction that you're moving in before, and that ends up pulling us off in another direction. So welcome. All right, so today we're going to talk about 5 W's, and my brother, very good friend, is on here, and we have been through some of this already. The last 2 W's we haven't discussed yet. We're going to talk about 5 W's: what, who, where, when, and why. Those are the 5 W's that we're going to discuss. We're going to discuss, what we are, who we are, where we are, when we are, and why we are. So we're going to look at those W's and help ourselves to understand them. And in understanding them, they'll help us to eliminate some of the obstructions that we put in our way that are interfering with us being able to experience, having an awareness of peace and joy. So the last time we had the discussion, we asked individuals, so what are you? And different people had an answer to that. And those things change with time. So, anyone wants to go ahead and unmute? Let me start there. And go ahead and tell us, what are you? Unmute and tell me, what are you? Anyone, just unmute. What are you? Not who are you, what are you? Like this is a cup, right? Then I'm drinking some coffee out there, right? This is a cup. So what are you? Somebody unmute and tell me, what are you? Who wants to jump in first? Anyone?
I'm a human being.
All right. So, and it says, I am a human being. So that's what she is. Thank you very much for your answer, Annette. Thank you very much. Anyone else?
I am a child of God.
Okay, what is that? What is that?
A person that God created, and I'm a son. He created us human beings. He created us as children of God, and that's what I am, a child of God.
So you're a child of God, you're a human being child of God. Is that what you're saying, right?
Yes.
All right. So you're in alignment with Annette, and you're adding child of God to the human being.
Yes, I am.
Okay. All right. Cool. I just wanted to be clear on what your idea of what you are is. All right.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Anyone else? Please participate.
Simply put, I think I'll say I am a spiritual being. What I am.
What you are is a spiritual being. What do you mean by that?
So I am a non-physical being, but existing in a physical space right now.
Okay, so spiritual meaning that you're not physical. So, okay,
Yes.
so is a human being physical?
A human being in certain spaces exists as a physical entity. In a
Okay.
physical world, yes. But
All right.
the deeper aspect of that person exists in a non-physical space. And so what we are is a non-physical being, but right now existing in a physical space.
Okay, I got you. I got you. So you're putting a little bit more context to so you're not disassociating with the idea of the human being, but
No.
you're adding to it the non-physical side as what you are, and then you're showing up as a human being.
Yes.
Is that okay? Is that okay? I'm just trying to make sure that these definitions that I'm getting, I'm also understanding perspectives as well. Thank you very much for sharing that. Anyone else? What are you? First W.
I would like to,
what
I would like
are
to
you?
add this. Let me add this to what I just said. God said, "Let us create man in our own image and in our likeness." And what I feel like he said there was he was talking future tense, because he said, "Let us." And so I'm saying that he was talking to the other spiritual being, which is Christ, which is the Word of God. He was speaking future tense because Christ one day was going to become a human, a man. And so he possesses both God and man in him. So when we were made after God's image, he said, "Let us make man." So who was he talking to? Well, I feel like he was talking to the Word of God, which is Christ, in the spirit, talking about what he was going to do in the future when he becomes man himself. And that's why I said, go ahead.
Yes. Okay, so if we're trying to make sense of the statement and try to understand what make firstly, we have to look at what is man and who defines that. Who is it that gave man? Who says a man is a male, right? Because obviously man included male and female. Who is to say that man is just a physical body as a human being? So then, therefore, if depending on how we choose to look at, let's make man. And is man just because man obviously included many different races, it included men and women, it included obviously man has a soul, man has a spirit. Now that we've discovered those dimensions of what we call man. And then the other word that causes some level of interpretation and looking at it from different perspectives is image. So what is in our image? So if we localize in our mind man as a physical human being only, and we give that as our perspective and our interpretation of man, then we're going to by default think the image of God is maybe a big human being. So those interpretations of what man is one thing I believe that can lead us down a rabbit hole. The other thing that I think could lead us down a rabbit hole is interpreting what image is. And if we allow ourselves to be more wide in seeing those words rather than narrowing them down to what we were told a man is, because usually when we hear man, the first thing comes to our mind is a male, right? We don't think about man as inclusive of men and women, children, excuse me, and also we don't think of the word man as including a spirit and a soul. We usually think of man as the physical picture that we see in day-to-day life. You know, am I making sense, Robert? Anyone else? You know, Augustine, you want to throw something on that statement, Robert?
I think I would like to throw something. You know, for me, what I have come to understand by "let us make man in our image." First, we have to understand first that this idea that is being passed on to us is trying to show us something. Now, this, the Almighty, the Creator, which in his fullness doesn't need to be separated. So he was talking to the fullness of his own personality. That is an idea that is being shared. And to be honest with you, in that fullness existed everything. So the us is everything, including me, you, every other person that was in God. And when he was saying us, he wasn't talking to a separate entity. What the idea, that's the idea, that's what I get from the idea. So I was included in the let us make us. You were included in the let us make us. And we all came forth from that singleness, from that oneness, and became individual, separate individuals. So we were included. I, you, Dr. Benjamin, Abigail, Mark, everyone that would ever exist and has ever existed was in that us. And together we chose to come forward to bring forth an individual aspect of this fullness we call God. Within the Creator exists all the creation. And so God is the God, when God says let us, or when the scripture says let us, he wasn't talking to one person. He was talking to his fullness, his totality, his completeness, which includes me and you.
Thank you for that, Augustine. Anyone else? Robert is like in Nigeria, so Robert is gingered.
No, not changing. No, not changing. But even though we're humans, our real self though is the spiritual man in us. The body is, I mean, it's just a fleshly body, and it doesn't have anything to do with none of this. So when we were made in the image of God, it's God's, everything about God, his personality, and everything about God he put in us. And the body, the human body, the flesh, doesn't have anything to do with none of that.
All right, so I'm going to drop this in there, right, Robert, and for everyone. In my studies, in my studies, and this is perspective coming from study, that the image that's being spoken about is a faculty to think independent of circumstances and situations. That's really what the word image, some people who have studied deep enough come to realize that's what God's image is, right? An ability to think independent of circumstances and situations, which allows for you to create a new way of living and a new way of being independent of what's happening currently. Because if you could think independent of your low bank account, not having money, and you could think abundance, you could think prosperity. If you think about health and your body's going through cancer, you can heal your body because you're thinking independent of the challenge that your body's dealing with. Or your relationships are not going well, you could think outside of the relationships and think joy, think peace, think love, think healing, and then those relationships could potentially become better. So what happens now is this, we are created with that faculty. Now, some people have different views of it. And we also have to remember as well that we're growing, we're developing, we're becoming more aware. And as we are growing and developing and becoming more and more aware, our perspectives, our points of views, our way of understanding and interpreting things change. And that is what we're growing through. We're all in the process of becoming more aware. And if you look back 20 years ago, for those who have been here that long, 10 years ago, 30 years ago, if you've been here that long, you'll realize that the way you saw things then and the way you see things now has changed dramatically. And in another 10 years, in another 15 years, in another 20 years, if we're still here, we're going to realize that we're going to also change in terms of how we see things as well, because we're becoming more aware and we're growing. And this conversation is dedicated to us having that expansion. So let's jump off what, right? So we realize that we have different, right here, we have different perspectives on what already, right? So we have different people who have a different idea of what we are, different. It's some of us, it's one way, and some of us it's another way. but it seems to interlace each other to some extent, and the common idea of a human being is in there for most of us, right? All right, so from my perspective, what I am is that, I am the presence. The foundation of my being is the presence of God, right? Love. That's what I am. And as a spiritual being, if you want to call it that, an eternal being, a being that was never created, not created, never born, shall never die, created in the what's called the image and likeness of our Creator. But I see that image and likeness as a faculty to think independent of the circumstances that I'm in, and I'm nothing physical. I'm purely non-physical, and I'm having a human incarnation, and I'm able to define how I experience that human incarnation by the ability to think outside of the things that are happening in my human experience. So that's how I see my what. All right, let's go to who. Let's go to who. Who wants to say, who am I? Because what you are is what you are. This is a cup. Who is a cup, right? Who is the cup? All right, that's a different answer, right? Who are you? Let me hear anybody. Augustine, anybody?
Yes, who am I? I am God in flesh. So what do I mean? I am power, wisdom, knowledge, intelligence, creativity in flesh.
Thank you very much for that. Thank you very much for that. Anyone else wants to go ahead and say who they are? Jump on in. Who are you?
I am whom I am, peace. I am whom I am, love. I am whom I am, joy. I am whom I am, happiness. I am whom I am, healthy. I am whom I am, prosperity. I am abundantly. I am whom I am, beautiful. Oh, I can go on and on and on. Thank you.
All right. So you have just expressed some of the qualities of who you are, and that's wonderful. Love, peace, joy, and beauty. Those are qualities. Definitely, those are qualities that you definitely want to affirm. And Augustine spoke about him being being God in the flesh. Thank you. Anyone else wants to say who you are? All right. So, okay, thank you for that. So who I am, I'm an individualized expression of the Most High. So I'm an individual expression of our Creator. So, each of us here, in one way, shape, or form, we're representations of the Most High, right? However, we may define the Most High, because different people will have different definitions for our Creator and different names as to how you may feel more comfortable defining or naming your Creator from whatever background you may be coming from. But at the end of the day, we can all say that we're here together. We could see other people around. And from a basic logical standpoint, it seems like everything emerged from one, right? Everything emerged from one. So because everything is emerging from one, some of us may want to agree that each of us can be an individual expression of that one. And inside of that expression of the one, there are the qualities of the one. So whatever qualities that our Creator has is in that individual. So if peace is in the Creator, and we are created in the image and likeness of our Creator, peace is in us. If joy is in the Creator, we're created in the image and likeness of our Creator, joy is in us. If intelligence is in the Creator, then intelligence must be us, must be in us. So all of these qualities that sometimes we search for or look for in outside experiences are already in us. And we just need to start to wake up to see, okay, so where are these qualities and how is it that we can have them become active in us so that we can feel them more regularly and more often and stabilize our life experiences and be able to go through the challenges that we're here on planet Earth to embrace faster. All right. So that's the who. All right. Thank you very much for that. All right. So let's look at where. All right. So who, what, who, where. Right? Where are you? Where are you? Please, somebody unmute and tell me, where are you right now? Tell me, where are you?
Sorry, before I'm taking you back a little bit, I didn't hear how you answered who I am. I heard on the other ones, peace, love, those ones, but I didn't hear the beginning, just a word, who.
Yeah, who I am is that I am an individual individualized expression of our Creator. So I'm an individual of the whole of life. So I'm one with the Creator, one with all of life, and I'm an individual. That's here. That's who I am. And the name has been given to that who by my parents as Harry. All right. And that's how I'm moving around on the planet. That's the who that is going through different experiences, having a marriage, having children, you know, having biological parents, having ancestors, having a future. You know, I'm the who in the middle of all of that. And then we're now in the process of doing some great things as the who that's going to manifest some great achievements in the world. All right, so that's the who. Just a little bit longer now, you ask me. All right, so let's look at, please somebody tell me, so where are you? Where are you? Go ahead and tell me, where are you? Where are you? Unmute and tell me somebody. Where are you? I'm going to call out some people if nobody's going to jump in and answer. All right, Robert, where are you? And, you know, where are you right now?
Right now, I would say I'm in heavenly places in Christ.
All right, cool. All right, thank you for that. Anyone else wants to say where they are? Where are you right now?
I am present.
You're present. All right, cool. Anyone else is present? That's where he is, present on the Zoom. All right. Okay, so Robert is in heavenly places. Augustine is present, and you know everyone else seems to be unsure. All right, but if you could unmute and tell me, what about you, Mark? Where are you? And Dr. Copeland. All right, let me pull some people out. Give me some answers. If you don't know where you are, it's okay to say it. If you're not sure where you are, right? You know, am I in Jamaica? Am I in the US? Go ahead, Doc.
No, I would answer this way. I am exactly where God wants me to be. And that is, you know, both in a spiritual sense and in a geographical sense. You can apply to anything, but I am exactly where God intends me to be at this point in time. That's how I see it. And the great journey is just the unfoldment.
All right, wonderful, Doc. Anyone else wants to go? The great journey is the unfoldment. I love that word. That word is really awesome. Anyone else? Go ahead, Mark.
Right. So I am on my journey. I am on my journey on earth. That's where I am.
All right, you're on
my journey. Yes.
All right, that's great. Great. I like those definitions. Anyone else wants to say where they are? You know, Annette, you want to jump in? Where are you? All right. So where am I? You know, I'm at the center of our Creator. That's where I am. And you know, I'm at the center. I'm at the heart and center of our Creator, and that's where I am. Now, you could also say different levels of that. You know, because where's that? You know, that could be everywhere you are in our Creator is the center. One interesting thing about our Creator is that the center is everywhere and the circumference is nowhere. So there's no border to our Creator. So anywhere you are, the center of our Creator is there. And if you're at the center of something, everything is there that the Creator has in the Creator, which means that it's in you and it's in I. So with that as a perspective, where am I? I'm never feeling like I'm somewhere where I should not be because I'm always in the center. And if I'm always in the center, any circumstance and situation that I find myself in, that's where I'm supposed to be at that point. Because when you're not clear on where you are, you may feel like you're somewhere where you shouldn't be. And when you feel like you're somewhere you shouldn't be, you'll want to run to somewhere else because you're not rooted in our Creator, and your Creator is not your guide. If your Creator needs you to move from Jamaica to New York, your Creator will move you. If your Creator needs to move you from Nigeria to Atlanta for a season, your Creator will move you. And you know, Abigail, you know, and Mark, that I met Mr. Akil Bey through just being shifted from Nigeria to Atlanta. And that one relationship has now resulted in me being able to start trading and being in contact with this $150 to $1 million opportunity, and having the person who is instrumental to that becoming a friend of mine. Now, if I didn't get rooted up to come over to here, that wouldn't happen. So, but if I'm in Atlanta and I believe, no man, I'm not supposed to be here, let me run back over to here because this is going on over here and that is going on over there, and let me go over here. And so what happens is that we're trying to find something outside to be okay. It doesn't mean you don't move from place to place, because sometimes you move from place to place because you're pushed from within. But if we learn to move from within as opposed to from outside, we will avoid being manipulated. Because what happens is that whenever you believe you're somewhere where you shouldn't be, is because you don't yet know that God orders your steps. And if God orders your steps, and and it says that God, the steps of a righteous man is ordered by God. That's what it says. The steps of a righteous man is ordered by God. That means that if you feel like your steps are not ordered, is that you're just not living in righteousness. You're just not living in alignment with the Creator. Because once you're in alignment with the Creator, wherever you are is where you're supposed to be. And therefore, unless the Creator moves you somewhere else, obviously, if you're moved to somewhere else, then you're moved to somewhere else because that's where the Creator needs you. In terms of somewhere physical, because everywhere the Creator is everywhere. There's nowhere that the Creator is not. So everywhere that we are, we're at the center. And then once we are clear on that, then we start to gain more value from where we are, because we're not thinking, oh, I need to go somewhere else. Like I have this great training coming up. It's a 5-week course that I'm going to take. And in that 5-week course coming up, what happens is that if you're not clear on where you are and how great things are right now where you are, you'll be waiting for the course to be better. As opposed to, okay, the course is going to come, and when the course comes, I'm going to feel more of an expansion of what I already am. I'm going to feel a higher level of peace, a higher level of joy. More wisdom is going to become available, but I'm not feeling deficient or lacking and waiting for something else or needing to go somewhere else. So understanding that we're at the center of our Creator, everything that we need, we could hope for and desire is already inside of us. And what we need to do is to allow the unfoldment, as Dr. Copeland mentioned, to happen. Then you're not running away from where you are. You're comfortable in yourself. You're comfortable where you are. You're uncomfortable with maybe a circumstance. You may be uncomfortable with your bank account. You may be uncomfortable with your job. You may be uncomfortable with the situation in your country, but you're comfortable within yourself. And you're not going to play a part in working to bring about comfort in the country, comfort in terms of income that can provide for you, comfort in terms of increasing your bank account. But you're not running away from where you are. You're stable, you're inside, you're able to get to work and do what it is that you need to do. If things are on you change, you're not drawn down into the dumps, right? You're able to deal with those changes and do whatever is necessary to move yourself into a higher realm and a higher dimension of living, right? That's how I see where, all right? Anyone else wants to chime in on that? Where you are? I am at the center of God. That's where I am, right? I'm always there. Anywhere I am, anywhere on the planet, I am at the center, all right? Thank you. All right, let's look at when are you? Unmute and tell me, when are you? Because that doubly is interesting, right? Who wants to be the first one to say, when are you? We looked at what are you, who are you, where are you? Now we need to look at when are you? When are you? Who wants to be the first one to chime in on that? I'm going to pull you out then. All right, Augustine, let me hear you. Or Robert. Robert, you want to tell me when are you? When are you?
When are you?
Yeah, when, W-A-T-N.
I would say now.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for that. Anyone else?
That's the
Because
answer.
when is time, right?
Now.
No, right?
Always now.
When are you? Yeah, thank you. Robert and Augustine says their when is now.
An eternal now.
An eternal now. Not just now, but
Yes.
eternal now.
An
Awesome.
eternal now, yes.
Awesome. Awesome. Anyone else wants to jump in there? All right. So Robert, when, and Augustine, no, right? And I agree with both of them. If somebody else differs, because, you know, the thing is that time is an illusion and space is an illusion as well. Because the idea of space in, you know, like, for example, if you're in a room right now, you have walls around you and you say, okay, I have space inside to move around. But there's also the space on the outside, which is also one with the space on the inside, except for the wall that we have in between, you know, that seems to create a division. So space in itself, there's this internal spaciousness that we have when we start to become aware of that dimension of ourselves. Then you realize that we have this internal spaciousness that encapsulates the house you're in, it encapsulates the buildings that you see around you, it encapsulates the planet, it encapsulates everything that you see. And the more you become aware, you're going to realize that you're a spacious being. You're going to realize that your spirit contains everything that you're seeing with your from a physical dimension standpoint. So with that understanding, then space is an illusion, because that's just us looking at things in reference to each other. Okay, that wall over there and that wall over there, and then we have a space in the, you know, we call it a space that you can move around in. And then you could have space between here and the moon. And then you have space as well. And then you also have time. Now, time is the measurement of an experience, or the time to move from one object to another. All right, that's the measurement. Now, that is in itself an illusion, because there is where we are the ones who put time as a construct in place to help us to make our way through the experience. So when we move those out of the way and we're trying to figure out, when are we? Now. And now doesn't change. No, it was no at the beginning of the call. We've been on here like 35 minutes. And now, it was no at the beginning. It's no right now. And when we end in a few minutes, it's still no. So no never changes. If you go back 200 years ago, 500 years ago, 1,000 years ago, if you go forward into the future, 100, 200, 500 years, it will always be no. So no is eternal. That's the aspect of eternity that you and I need to start to focusing on. Because when we're focused on the now, our thoughts about what could happen do not generate as much fear. Because fear comes about by thinking, oh, what if this? What if that? What if that? What if that? And then we get into a bubble of fear and we block ourselves from moving because we're worried about an outcome. You know, and if we're lamenting about the past, we're thinking about, man, you know, we used to be this, and look at what happened, and we depress our joy and peace and suspend being in the now by running away to the past and wanting things to be the way they used to be, or trying to avoid a future outcome that we do not like and then worried about that. And then we suspend the now, which is where the peace and the joy and the intelligence and the wisdom and the guidance are available, because that's where the creator is now. All right. All right. So that's that W. The next W is why. Why are you? Let's talk about that. Unmute and tell me, somebody. Why are you? Who wants to go first? Mark, why are you? Why are you? Okay, Mark doesn't want to jump in first. Let's look at who wants to go first. Robert,
Yes.
Go ahead, Augustine.
Why am I? That's why am I? Why am I? Why do I exist? Why am I, right?
Yes, why are you? Why do you exist?
I'm here to I'm here to explore and express the fullness of God in me. I don't like that in me, but let me use that word.
Okay, you're here to explore, right? Explore,
And
you know,
express.
And so explore means go and discover, go and find out, go and search. And also express means to express whatever those God qualities are in the process of exploring. All right, so that's why you're here.
And I will say one thing, Dr. Benjamin. The explore part comes from the fact that, yes, at some point, the non-physical me is now physical. So the non-physical me is exploring the capacity and possibilities that the non-physical me has. Why those possibilities and capacity are already in me, I am also expressing it from a non-physical point of view.
I got you. Thank you for that. Thank you for that perspective, man. So in bringing that together, right? You are here using the physical aspect of yourself for the purposes of the exploration. And in that process, you're also revealing the qualities of the non-physical or the spiritual in the process of the exploration and dealing with and going through all various things. So when a challenge comes your way, when a difficulty comes your way, it is an opportunity to express more of those qualities in how it is that I'm going to deal with it. You know, I heard the statement this morning, right? When we're going through these lessons, whatever is incomplete repeats. Somebody type that. Whatever is incomplete repeats. So whenever we're coming through these experiences, we're here to learn, we're here to grow, we're here to develop. And when we run away from our experiences, as you know, recently we had a challenge and some people are trying to run away, but I think they'll come back. But anyway, my point is that whatever is incomplete repeats. Whatever is incomplete repeats, because we're here to mature. We're here to release politics. We're here to become greater and better. And in the process of doing that, release them. So thank you very much for that. Dr. Copeland, jump in.
Yes, I want to get back to unfoldment. I have come to realize that we each come with a specific mission, and it's for us to find out what that purpose is. So I think I have been getting confirmation in recent times in terms of that divine purpose. Life has a lot of distractions, but I think each of us need to find out what is his or her purpose here in this dimension at this time in this space.
Thank you. Anyone else wants to jump in? Why are you here? So Dr. Copeland says she's in the process of uncovering why she's here from a divine standpoint to try to figure out what exactly it is that I'm here to do. From a mission standpoint, she's trying to become clear on that. And anyone else? Augustine has shared his perspective on it. Anyone else wants to say why you're here? Whatever is incomplete repeats. Thank you very much, Augustine. Whatever is incomplete repeats. So any incomplete experience repeats itself until you learn your lesson. All right, Robert, go ahead.
Okay, I'm here to fulfill the will and plan of God that God has for me as an individual.
What is that?
The will is to wow. What is that? That could be a lot of things that, you know, just to do the will of God for my life in every way, in everywhere, in everything that I do. Just stay in line, stay in tune, you know, with what God has called me to do. Stay with it and make sure that it gets done. And
so what were you called to do?
That's everything that you do in life. Everything that I would do in life, we need to make sure that we're doing the will of God in everything that we do.
All right. Thank you for that. All right, anyone else wants to say, why are you here on the planet? Why are you here? Anyone else? Are you gonna jump in, Abigail? Mark, Annette, all right. Jonah, why are you here?
Yeah, Dr. B. Each one of us here have a purpose. I am here because of a purpose, definitely. And it's with time and with probably meditation, etc., that one could get to realize what the real purpose is. But everybody have a task, everybody have a purpose that they must work towards. And everybody's task is different, more or less.
All right, well, thank you very much for that, Mark. So here's the thing, right? You know, so here's the thing. we individually, thank you very much, everybody that shared that perspective on why, right? Now, when you look at the idea of why means reason, right? Why means purpose. Why means, what exactly am I supposed to be doing? That's why, why do I need a cup? Because it contains the liquid so I can drink it. Why would I like to have a phone? Because it would be easier for me to call somebody and send messages and use it to download the various things that would make my life more convenient. So why am I here means obviously that there's something more than just, paying bills, buying food, taking care of the children. Those are some of the reasons why we're here. If you have children or if you're in a relationship, those are some of the things that, by almost default are some of the things that you could say those are some of the reasons why I'm here. I'm here for my children. I'm here for my parents. I'm here for doing something in the spectrum of human living, right? So that's one way of saying, okay, so why I'm here is because I need to do stuff to take care of those myself and those around me. But then it can go a little bit further. Okay, so why am I here in the community? Okay, why am I here in the community? What is it that I'm supposed to be doing in the community that I live in? And then how am I going to be adding value to that community rather than maybe just being someone in a community that's taking? Some people live some people come to the family barbecue. If you've ever had a family outing for meals, and everybody's supposed to bring food. And some people, every time they come to the family barbecue, they just come to eat and go. They never ever take time to cook and bring anything with them. They just only come to eat and go. So they're takers. And there's some people who you can always count on them. They're always going to prepare the food. They're always going to try to do as much for everybody as possible. Those come to the family barbecue to be givers. Does anybody relate to that example? Unmute and tell me yes or no. If you could relate to that example of
Yes.
All right. So some people are here as takers.
We pack and they go with some.
Pack and go, right? So some people can relate to people being takers, while some people are givers. So understanding those are different ways in which we are being on the planet. That's, why am I in the community? Some people are in the community to take, some people are in the community to provide, right? That's a level of community. And then you could go a little further and look at beyond your community, look at your country. Why are you here in your country? What role are you playing in the country's development and growth? Are you going to choose to play a role? Do you feel impelled to play a role? Do you feel like that's a part of your reason for being here? And then if you start to feel that way, you're going to start to see opportunities and avenues for you to start to play a role in those areas. And then it could go beyond your country to say, okay, so why am I here on the planet? What it is that's mine to do. And in the process of that, you're going to discover your mission. And your mission is how you fulfill why you're here. Your purpose, to me, and my perspective on our purpose, is our purpose is the same. All of us have the same purpose because we're all created from our Creator and in the image and likeness of our Creator. And in the expression of our love and our peace and our joy and our intelligence and our wisdom, which are all our Creator's qualities that we've been freely given, we're here to share those gifts and peace. We're here to share and serve. There's a statement that says, who do you serve, right? Who do you serve, right? And I'm trying to remember the verse, but it talks about serving, right? Serving God. And when people hear about serving God, a lot of people think about serving God prayer, look up and praise and sing, which is one aspect. But when we talk about serving God, if you think about a waiter at a restaurant serving food, the waiter has chicken in this plate and maybe vegetables in this plate, and the waiter comes to you and says, which one do you want? So some people in serving God, they serve love, peace, joy, and wisdom, right? And then some people serve hate, envy, jealousy, anger, bitterness. That's what some people serve. So, okay, yeah, that's the statement I was looking for. Choose ye this day who ye shall serve, right? That was the statement I was trying to remember. So you have to choose now, who are you going to serve? Not this serve and sing and that type of serve. That's one way. But choose, are you going to serve? Are you someone who is going to serve in your language, peace, joy, love, wisdom, intelligence? Are you going to serve in your language, anger, bitterness, division? Are you going to serve those words? Because that's what you are given the choice and the power to do. You can choose ye this day who ye shall serve. You and I can choose today who you shall serve. Are you choose, are you going to serve the qualities of our Creator, or will you serve the lower qualities of, jealousy and anger and bitterness and resentment and competition and rivalry? Are you going to serve that? Or are you going to serve forgiveness and compassion and gentleness and kindness and wisdom? Which one are you going to serve? And here's the deal: whichever one you serve is coming back to you multiplied. Anyone that you choose to serve, anyone that you choose to give out in your mission and why you're here. So if you think about why you're here, are you here to compete? Are you here to beat the next person? Are you here to be the best, better than, not best, because we're all here to be the best. But, in terms of, are you in the space of rivalry? Are you in the space of competition? Are you in the space of willingness to hurt others? Are you in that space? Or are you in a space of gentleness and kindness and compassion and love and wanting to help people to become better? Because how you are here determines how you're going to fulfill your mission. And if you're here if you're not aligned correctly, you're gonna serve the wrong thing out of your life. You're gonna serve, and so why are we here? We're here to reveal the qualities of our Creator, all of us. The purpose is to reveal love, peace, joy, intelligence, wisdom, beauty, creativity, abundance. We're here to reveal those, but we have the power of choice not to reveal those. We all have the power of choice. So we could choose, even though our purpose is to reveal those. And I think most of us should agree, that, say yes or put a 1 in the chat if you agree that we're all here to reveal more love, more peace, more joy, more wisdom, more genius, more intelligence, more creativity, more abundance. Put a 1 in the chat or put yeah, or answer and say, yes, I'm here to reveal those. Okay? If we're in agreement that we're here to reveal those from a general standpoint. So all of us, if we're in agreement, you could unmute and tell me, yes, you agree, or no, you don't agree. You can, all right? Feel free to do that, all right? But unmute, I want to hear some answers right now. Okay, thank you very much, Augustine. Yes, I'm here to reveal those qualities. Sonia puts a 1 in the chat. She's there to reveal those qualities. If you want to unmute and tell me, yes, you can as well, right? So we're here to reveal, here to reveal those qualities. So we're not here to reveal anger and bitterness and those things. That's not what we're here to reveal. All right. Those things come about because of a misunderstanding of our true nature. And we end up doing those things as a part of our human experience. And we're waking up right now, and we're becoming adults, and we're no longer revealing those type of qualities when things happen to us that we do not like. Things to us that we do not like, that is what causes us to fall on into those lower level ways of living. But once we start to become more mature, things will happen to us that we do not like, and we still reveal love, we still reveal joy, we still reveal peace, even though things happen to us that we do not like. All right. All right. Now, the other thing is your mission. The mission that we have on an individual level, it differs based on what it is that you feel impelled to do. For example, some people's mission may include sweeping the streets. And in the sweeping the streets, the presence of the Creator in them does that with joy and with peace, with kindness, and keeping the environment to be beautiful so that we can all enjoy it. And a part of that person's role and mission is to do that. I remember one time I heard the story of, a master with his student, And students say to the master, what does it mean to be enlightened? And the master looked up to the universe and says, I'm one with everything that exists. I'm whole and perfect and I'm complete and I'm filled with joy, love, and peace. And then as soon as the master was done telling him that, the master went back to being, the master was a laundry man, cleaning laundry in the community. He went back right away to start to do his laundry. So understanding that we have a mission here while we're releasing these qualities, and where we stand to add value, the most value that we can add is whenever things happen to you that you don't like, whenever things happen to you that are challenging and difficult, it is time for you to reveal the qualities of our Creator. Because when something happens to you that you don't like, when somebody does something that they stole money out of your bank account, right? And you now don't have any money to feed your kids, you can't pay your rent, you're gonna get kicked out of your house. What type of emotion are you experiencing in that moment? Somebody unmute and tell me. I'll be honest. Right? Come on.
Anger.
Sad and angry.
You'll be angry. You'll be angry and upset, right? So that's the emotion that you experience based on what they did to you. Now, what is it that you're asked to do? Choose you, right? Each of you, choose you this day who you shall serve, right? Are you going to serve? Who are you going to serve? Because where does anger and revenge and all of that comes from? Where does that come from? Right? Somebody unmute and tell me. Where does that come from? Anybody? Right? Unmute and tell me. Where does the whole idea of anger, jealousy, revenge, competition, rivalry, where does that come from? Unmute and tell me. Because you're serving it. If you say it out of your mouth, you're serving it to the person who did it to you, right? Because that's what serving it means. So choose who you're going to serve. So when you say those things, what are you serving when you serve anger, when you serve competition, when you serve rivalry? I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Watch me. What are you serving onto your mouth? Well, who are you serving in that moment? Unmute and tell me somebody, right? Anyone wants to say, who are you serving? When you're serving those type of words that are, you're upset, you're go ahead.
You're serving
Robert.
the enemy, because that's how he wants you to. That's what he wants you to do. You're doing what he wants you to do, so you're serving him.
All
by
right,
doing,
cool. So you're serving
yeah.
it. You're serving at that moment. So in that state, nobody wants to say it, but in that state, you're serving that lower aspect of humanity. When you're serving that out of your mouth, right? So when you're serving, when somebody hits, took money from your bank account, take away, and you say, "I bless you and your life is magnificent." I remember one young man did that back in Nigeria, because he took this teaching, and then somebody he had called, they sent him one of those messages. And Augustine know those type of messages, right? Where they ask you to send back your information, and they send the message as if it came from your bank. So you think your bank is asking you for your account number, for your PIN code to do something with your account, and he sent them the code by text. And within, I think, 15 minutes, he got a debit alert wiping out all the money in his account. And he had come to the idea of, instead of being angry and upset, which he was a little bit, but he typed a message back to them, and say, "You know what? I know you took the money and it hurt me, but I bless you and your life is magnificent." He sent them that message. And he came to the meeting the trainings that we do, and he testified that the following day, they sent the money back to his account. True story. I can't remember the guy's name up to now. All right, I can't remember his name rather. But true story, right? He came and he was at the meeting and he said that's what he did. And the following day, they returned the money. So not saying that everybody's going to have that experience, but that was just evidence of, don't emit what you don't want back, right? Don't serve what we call the enemy, and as we go into these teachings over the week, I'll talk some more about that, because last week's experience in our business has been my most challenging experience to date. Of having to deal with, the 4 ways in which what we call the enemy, we call it the enemy. Some people call it the devil. Different words are used to describe it. But at the end of the day, it's an energy that comes to challenge us for you to take a higher road or the lower road. And I was challenged with persuasion, because that's one of the first things that happens, to persuade you to do things that go against your core values. The second thing that happened to me was provocation, provoke you to make you feel guilty, to make you feel bad. You know, how could you do this? You know, how, I was provoked. And the third thing that came was intimidation. I was intimidated, you know, literally let me feel like my entire business was going to collapse if I didn't do the things that I was being asked to do. And then the fourth thing that came was seduction. I was offered money to go in another direction, to go against my core values and my morals. So what happens is that temptation takes these shapes and forms. And for you to be able to overcome those temptations, you have to be very spiritually grounded. The peace and the joy has to be very alive and awakening, so that when those storms and those challenges come in your life experience, you can literally be above those storms, and those storms are happening in your life experience, and you're able to choose to serve love, serve peace. You can choose to say something kind and respectful during the very difficult challenges that you're dealing with, because it's only when you're dealing with difficult challenges that you know who you're serving. It's easy to say I'm doing a great and amazing when your bank account is flourishing with money. It's easy to say, everything is good, man, because, the children are in school, the wife is happy, the husband is happy, the bills are paid. I'm good. But let me see you say I'm good when, this is falling off, that is tearing off, that's about to happen, and all of that is happening around you. And you still are able to say, you know what? I love you. Thank you. I appreciate you, and I bless you. And your life is magnificent. Those are the times when you know that you are becoming aware and awake to the qualities in you, and you're now choosing to serve, right? The Creator truly, because yes, singing and praising and looking up to that's one part of serving our Creator, and I get that part. That's very important. But what are you serving to people out of your mouth determines who you serve, and you choose every moment. You get that chance. Choose ye to say whom you shall serve. Every single moment as we walk through this life, we're given that opportunity. Are you going to serve the qualities of the Creator that were created in the image and likeness of? Or are we going to serve the qualities of the lower aspect of humanity, where the whole idea of separation and competition and envy and jealousy and greed and avarice comes from? Because that comes from identifying ourselves as only a human being, when we're not identifying ourselves as a non-physical being that has a physical aspect to oneself, as Mr. Augustine Omoifo so beautifully put it. Right? He said that I'm a non-physical being having a physical presence here and using this physical presence to do a bunch of things, right? Which is to reveal the purpose, the why. So, man, thank you guys. Any comments before we run up, because it's already an hour, we need to be off of here. But any comments, any questions around that idea of the 5 W's, right? What you are, who you are, where you are, when you are, and why you are. We dove really into it today, and we got all of the 5 W's done within time. So that was great. It means that we're making progress. Last time I tried this, we got through the first 2.5. There was so much clarity that was needed around the first 2, but now we're making progress with that. So more clarity is happening, and therefore better experiences. Anyone, you want to go ahead, question or comment before we jump off of the line? All right, man, grateful for you guys. The way we close is that we unmute ourselves, and I see that a few of us on here are new to the call. And the way we roll, ladies and gentlemen, is that we unmute ourselves and we find at least 5 names. You're encouraged to go and look for 5 strangers, right, that are not close to you. Look for 5 people that are not very close to you, and you can go ahead and say to them, or 5 strangers or people who are not very close to you, and tell them, I bless you and your life is magnificent, right? Because by you saying that and revealing that quality out of you and seeing that in them, you raise your eyes and you help to raise them as well, as you be share and remind them that they are magnificent. On this line, unmute and look for 5 names and say, I bless you and your life is magnificent. So I bless you, Robert. And your life is magnificent. I bless you, and your life is magnificent.
I bless you and your life is magnificent.
magnificent. I bless you, Stone, and your life is magnificent.
Bless you, Robert, and your life is magnificent.
Bless you, Mark, and your life is magnificent.
Bless you, Keith, and your life is magnificent. Prince,
your life is
I
magnificent.
bless
Mark,
you.
and your life is magnificent.
And your
Bless
life
you,
is
Wale.
magnificent.
And your life is
Abigail, and your life
Bless
is
everyone and their lives
magnificent.
are
Dr. Henry, I
magnificent.
bless you and your life is magnificent.